You'll be live.
All right. All right, good afternoon, or good morning, everybody. I wanted to, first of all, say thank you to everybody for your patience. It's been pretty wild 24 hours. It's here this morning to just come back and look at my community and just say thank you. Thank you for 9.5 years, for the privilege of leading this community. This is very bittersweet for me. My goal when I got here was to be here 10 years and to bring an organization that I found in 2007 that was a great organization with great people. But the Austin Police Department was very much like the city of Austin. It had not realized that it had grown from a mid-sized, sleepy college police department to a major city police department. Its systems, its processes, its way of thinking was not what we needed to be a successful police department in the 21st century. And I'm proud of the fact that after 9.5 years, when you look at where we were as a department, in terms of the way we conduct business, in terms of the way that we deliver police services, in terms of the way that we interact with the community, in terms of the way we hold each other accountable, we've had our ups and downs. But I can say with a great deal of pride that our performance was at this level in 2007. And because we've had a singular focus as an organization of seizing every day to do better as individuals, as units, as divisions, and as an organization, we have actually had our ups and downs in nearly 10 years. But because we had that focus, we started here, and 10 years later, I can tell you without hesitation that the Austin Police Department took a reputation of being a good police department, and we have a national reputation that is second to none. And that's not a result of Art Acevedo. That's a result of having the blessing of coming into a department that was comprised of great men and women, but unfortunately sometimes we don't know what we don't know, and they got to embrace this crazy Cuban, center-right guy, not this, crazy guy. I think everybody thinks I'm this crazy guy. They embraced me. I remember telling them, this organization is on the move. This train is leaving the station. And I promised our community and I promised our department that if they took a leap of faith, that I promised that when we got to our destination, it was going to be a great place. And today I want to just say thank you to the men and women that I've had the privilege of leading for having the faith and the trust in this police chief. We've had our ups and downs. We've had our fights. But I will tell anybody, any critic in our department to look at me in the eyes and tell me that I don't have a deep care for every single one of our employees, that my heart was not in the right place. Because at the end of the day, I think that we've all demonstrated that as an organization, imperfect organization, our collective hearts are in a great place. And so to APD, thank you. You are my DNA. I'm going to be watching for you and over you from a distance and agitating for you. I'm really concerned that despite the fact that from 2007 to 2015, I read a media report that showed that we have reduced as a police family, violent crime in our city by 39%. At a time of unprecedented growth where we gained 200,000 residents, not to mention the fact that every year our visitors and our landings at the airport have grown by about 10 to 11%, double digit every year. Our special events continue to grow. The number of visitors continue to grow. This department that has been found to be lean by not one study, not two studies, but 3 studies, has been able to maintain and reduce violent crime by 39% since 2007. But there's a word of caution, and I'd be remiss if I didn't tell this community that absolutely expects the best of its police department that this year I've been saying it for months now. Violent crime for the first time is up year to date, and as of this week, it's up 10%. So that's the word of caution. The question that we must ask ourselves is, have we stretched a department that has been proven to be excellent, but has also been proven not by our words, but by experts that have looked at our staffing? Have we stretched it beyond its capacity to continue to keep Austin with the level of safety that our residents, our visitors, our business folks have come to expect and demand? And I really urge, as I leave at the end of this month, this community to take stock of what kind of city they want to have moving into the future. Because I know this, we had a study that said, the Matrix study just came out, that we needed over 100 officers right away. And now the new thing is, well, we want to create a metric to see if we can capture, once before we invest in these bodies, you know, what the value is. Let me just say this, the only metric I need as a police chief is a 9% rise in violent crime. And so that is the word of caution I'll throw out to our community, because if we do with public safety moving forward what we did with transportation in the 70s and 80s in this city, we know that transportation didn't work out very well for us. We had the attitude that if we don't build it, they won't come. Well, guess what? They came, and now look at us, playing catch up. I hope that this city will not do the same thing with public safety, because once we lose that perception and reality of being one of the biggest cities in the country, I promise you, you will not have the Samsungs, the Facebooks, the Googles, and so many other great companies bringing wonderful talent here because it's a safe city. And so I just throw that out, because the question is this year an anomaly, or is this an indicator of things to come? And I think I owe it to this community and to this city to just put that out there. I hope I start a great conversation for the next police chief, and for the next city manager, and for our great city manager we have now, Elaine. Now, the last thing I want to say to the community before I open it up to questions is this. You know, policing is not broken. It's not broken. We've got to stop with this sense that when we have these human beings that we call police officers that are part of the fabric of this community, when they fall short and when they don't deliver the service in a specific instance the way that we expect and with the high standards that we have set, that we don't just take that and then condemn the entire profession, which is happening on a regular basis. You know, I'm a tough boss. I'm tough. And the reason I'm tough is because we're good. And so to this community, please, 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 hold us accountable when we fall short, as we do ourselves. But just as important in this day and time, when we have 24-hour news cycles, when we get things wrong, on those instances where we get things wrong, we have 24-hour news cycles, and we have things residing in cyberspace for eternity, where a year or two later, the same incident pops up like it's brand new, and we have to quell the rumor that it's not brand new. Don't forget that for everything that goes wrong, the few things that go wrong, we have some really phenomenal men and women here and around this country that every day are doing things right, tens of thousands and hundreds of thousands times a day. But that doesn't make the news. You know, there's a reason they say in the news industry, if it bleeds, it leads. And unfortunately, in Austin, Texas, is such a safe city because of the men and women that I've had the privilege to lead, that we have to manufacture news sometimes. And I've said it before, what passes for controversy in Austin, Texas is a blip in the radar somewhere else. So hold us accountable, but please take the time to lift up our men and women, because they truly are second to none. I will miss these men and women, I will miss this community, but more importantly, I look forward to seeing their continued success, because what this department is going to prove is that the most replaceable person on this department is this police chief. They are going to show their excellence. People think they're going to fail. They will not fail, because they are that good. And I know that we have an executive team, a command staff that is second to none. That story that came out just peed me off to no end. Because, you see, you couldn't make it a story, that tape recording, unless you twisted it to make it look like the commanders aren't on board. When in fact, they absolutely are on board. I'm one person. I couldn't have done anything without these men and women that lead and the people they lead. So yeah, I was angry at that story, and because that wasn't a story. There's nothing I said behind closed doors in that tape that I haven't said in public. See? So the story should have been, hey, the chief's message behind closed doors is the same message he gives the public. There's no two sides of this chief. But we had to make it about the culture. And they committed. Let me tell you something, they're committed. And I'm here to tell you they are going to show that commitment and that continuity of excellence long after I'm gone. And so I want to tell the command staff that I look forward to seeing you men and women continuing this tradition of excellence. We have made some strides. There's no going back. And so cheers to all of you. And so with that, I'm going to open it to any questions for me. And then I'm going to have my city manager, Elaine Hart, who she's hit the ground running. I love her. She's a great human being, a great leader. And she's taken on a heck of a task. And I look forward to hearing her come up. So any questions for me before I step aside?
Chief, you said the timing was right to leave, but why was the timing right? Was it the money? Was it officer morale? What was it?
Listen, if I wanted to make money, if it was about money, I'd leave this profession a long time ago and gone to the private sector. I think I've shown that I can balance a budget. This department was always over budget before I got here. We have yet to go over budget despite all kinds of unfunded mandates. My goal was always 10 years. It was always 10 years. And I'm a person of faith. I think that you end up where you're supposed to be. And I think the timing is right. Sylvester Turner is a phenomenal mayor. Not that ours isn't, but he's a phenomenal mayor. That city council is just the energy that I felt yesterday in Houston. I cannot wait to hit the ground running. You see, I think my greatest accomplishment, if I could just blow my own horn, toot my horn for a minute, is we have brought people together in the city. We've brought communities together. We've brought the department and the community together. And I thrive on that. So I can't wait to get to Houston. I think the timing's right. I mean, 10 years is a long run. I'm the first vice president of the Major City Chiefs, which is the 65 largest police departments in the country. I've been at that table for almost 10 years and looking around. Those faces have changed. And and I was like the young, cocky 42-year-old kid that showed up skinny, well, I don't know, I think 40 pounds ago, who knows? And now I'm the old man at the table. And so when you start seeing that, it's time to give somebody a shot. And I just hope that this department and this community will give the interim police chief that will be announced sometime in the future here the same support and the same opportunity, and will place some trust in that person as they have in me. And I'm excited. I'm excited to see the department continue to do well post Art Acevedo. So it's time.
What's the one thing that you wish you could have finished or completed in the time? I know community, I'm not going to fish it in, but is community policing the one thing that I guess that you want to make more inroads on?
Hey guys, the work never ends. You see, the human condition is an imperfect condition. An organization is an imperfect organization. We will never achieve perfection. There's these people that want us to sprinkle this magic dust so we never have a problem. But you know what? That magic dust doesn't exist. So the work never finishes. I think that if I had the one thing that I would want to say that I wish we could have accomplished is, I'm not sure. Because we never stopped moving forward. We never stopped looking to do better. We never stopped for a minute, our chiefs and our commanders and our leadership team, and say, hey guys, we've arrived. Because when you think you're at the top of your game as an organization, you only got one place to go. We have always recognized as a police department, and we've talked about it as a leadership team, the work never ends. So I don't think there's any one thing. So I don't have an answer to that, because again, there's so many things we're still trying to accomplish, and I hope that we have the continuity of the mindset and the vision that we've brought here. I hope there's some continuity, and I hope that whenever they go to an interim chief, that they'll have a chance to prove that they're worthy of leadership. What else?
Chief, during your tenure
step up. What is it about the Houston job that makes you actually,
Well, it's interesting because, every time I wouldn't leave, oh, he couldn't get a job, all the haters. But, we don't show up for the haters. We show up for the vast majority. And the truth is, for me, is that Houston's the most diverse city in the country. And unlike what some people think diversity is a four-letter word, I believe as an immigrant, I believe as somebody that in 1968, his father and four kids showed up, a mother, with $5 in our pocket that the communist government gave us to close on our back and some photos. I believe that diversity is the rich fabric by which this nation has been built. And when you have a mayor by the name of Sylvester Turner, who I've watched from a distance, it was really interesting at the press conference when he's talking about he was vetting me, and he's got a great sense of humor. I go, well, Mayor, I don't know if you know this, but I've been vetting you too. That gets that. This presents a unique set of opportunity to lead in the nation's most diverse city. One. Two, I'm from Los Angeles, and I love Austin, but I consider Houston's kind of like, it's kind of like LA with humidity, right? We got the ocean nearby. I love the ocean. They've got the second busiest port in the world. They've got the most diverse community in the country. And I think that Houston represents what America has been and needs to continue to be. A nation that welcomes many, a nation that has this rich fabric. That, see, what makes us so unique as a country is that we have opened our arms to the world's oppressed and the hungry for 240 years. And because of that diversity, I would give my life for this country. And the reason I'm serving is because it's my way to say thank you. My dad got here in '68. First thing that old man did was volunteer to go to Vietnam. They laughed him out of the office because we are patriots. You see, I'm not American by birth. I'm American by choice. And I'm American by the blessings of the good Lord that brought us here. So that's what really, I just can't wait. It's going to be fun. So it's kind of like going back to the future for me, going to that city. But after 10 years, the timing, it was time. And how do you say no to the fourth largest city in the country? Because if you remember in that tape, what I talked about behind closed doors with my commanders is that this is the best generation of cops in the history of the free world. This current and perfect generation of cops around this country is the best generation. They are the best I've seen in over 30 years. Our challenge is leadership, where some people don't want to make the unions angry. I'm sorry, APA, this isn't Burger King. You don't get it your way all the time. I get if you want to be chief and you're the union person, then you need to promote. But you don't get it your way all the time. And so I look forward to continuing to be an agent for positive change in the profession. I look forward to going to Houston and being being able to weigh in on public policy, and I think that's what it's about. So, and it starts my clock again. So Mayor Turner's, in his first year, he gets 2 4-year terms, and I look forward to serving out both, hopefully those 2 4-year terms. But if it doesn't work out, then, we'll figure it out. Anything else?
Question from Houston.
So Houston.
Yes, we have a journalist from Houston asking, were there any issues in the past that came up in the vetting process, specifically the lawsuit you filed against CHP and the events leading up to that?
Yeah, well, I am a person that took an oath of office in 1986. When I took that oath, there was a line that we've added to our oath of office, and I'd rather lay down my life. I will lay down my life rather than swerve from the path of duty. And see, as a person that took that oath right after my 22nd birthday, about 7 days after my 22nd birthday, I've taken that oath to heart. And fortunately, the CHP, I don't want to dredge up that old thing because we know how it worked out. I think I was vindicated. What they didn't understand is that when we put on this badge and we earned the privilege of wearing this badge and this uniform, my oath is to the oath of office. My oath is to the Constitution. My oath is to the rule of law and not to any one individual. And I think that at that time, when there was some shenanigans going on, I went to the department and I called them out on it. They told me to pound sand. I said, no, that's not the way it works. This is the United States of America, and we're a nation of laws. It was 4 years of hell on earth, but we all know how that story ended. I ended up getting a chance from Toby Futrell, Mayor Wynn, Mayor Leffingwell. They took a chance on this unknown, and here we are.
Chief, what's the biggest challenge facing your successor? Is it getting the staffing up to where it needs to be, or what do you think will be the biggest challenge for them?
Well, I think it's the same challenge as everybody else. It is staffing. Is doing more with less. And what makes cops heroes is that despite the challenges, despite the leanness, they don't make excuses. They just keep going out and doing the work. And so I think that's going to be one of the bigger challenges. I've also would say that whoever the next person comes, don't try to be me. We're all individuals. But you must be engaged. You know, here's the recipes for success. Ready? It's going to drive on like crazy. You've got to be transparent. And if we all did this in life, whether it's as cops or as neighbors or people of faith, if we are transparent with one another, if we respect one another, and respect starts with self-respect, if we are constantly engaging one another, right? What am I missing? We have to hold each other accountable. There's another T, and that's trust. It's all about transparency, respect, engagement, accountability, and that will build trust. And if they follow that recipe, they're going to be successful. If they don't, they will not be successful.
Chief, you speak your mind. Some people view you as a tough guy, but you're standing up there and you're getting emotional every
Yeah.
once in a while. Tell me where that's stemming from and what you're going to miss most about this community and these people.
It's hard to say goodbye. You had to go through. It's hard to say goodbye. I love my cops. And I'm gonna miss them. And I love this community. They get mad at me, but I have to make a call. And we don't make calls based on where the wind's blowing. You know, you're like the parent of an organization, and tough love is important. So, how do you say bye to these guys and these women and all these folks? It is tough. It's tough to say goodbye to these guys. And Anna, get up here. This is a family. Come on, commanders, get up here, you guys. Everybody, get up here. Get up here, you guys. I'm still the chief. I'm not yet. I mean, I love these guys and these women and this community. You know, we're a family. We fight, right, guys? We'd fight. We'd MF each other, but we love each other. Yeah. I mean, this is a family. You better get up here. Get up here. I mean, it is a family. We've got this man we just promoted today. Where's Justin Newsom? That no good guy leave? Where'd he go? We just promoted him today. You got, you know, what's there not to love? It's hard to say goodbye. Get up here, Anna. It's Patricia. Come up here. Come up here. How do you say? Tank, come up here. Tank, get up here. I will write you up on my way out. Get up here, Tank. That's what people don't get. You know. Listen. I love people, and this guy. Get up here. You know, this is a guy that understood when he was the vice president of the Austin Police Association. Understood what labor is about. It's about moving the ball forward. It's about finding common ground. And I just asked my cops, think about how the APA used to be and the successes that we were enjoying as a department and their attitude today, where it's us against them. And I'll tell you right now, it hasn't worked out for them. It hasn't worked out for them. And by the way, I told them I have options. When they started with the Freeman shooting, tomorrow we have that shooting, guess what? It'll be the same exact outcome. Because I'm not here to keep a job. I came here to do a job. And that man and the group that he represented got it. And so they enjoyed some great successes. We kept doing really well. But it's hard to say goodbye to people you love, to a community you love. I mean, this is such a great community. But Houston's a great community too. And I look forward to the people in Houston that, you know, they've all got their own preconceived notions. I'm already hearing, oh, he's a big liberal, he's a big this. No, I define who I am. The content of my character, my heart defines who I am, not labels that people put on me. And I will ultimately be defined by my actions, not by my critics and not by my friends, by my actions. They will be self-evident, and people will figure it out. Anything else? Right, guys?
We've got a new chief and a new sheriff coming in. Again, one more time, advice for someone on what kind of a relationship they should hold.
Well, first of all, they need to work together. One of the things I'm very proud of is that we really worked hard to build a regional approach to policing. Sometimes, big departments think they're the big gorilla in town, and they don't want. No, we work with everybody, and I think they just need to work really closely together. So, and then we're one profession, so we will continue to work together, even at the national level, at the state level. We'll work together, continue to move the profession in the right direction.
Sorry about that.
That's your fault. I was doing really good until you had to go there.
And unfortunately, it's going to be on everybody's.
No, it's not. No, it's not. That was off the record. That meltdown was off the record. If you guys burn me, you're not going to get any more one-on-ones. Oh, that's right.
Chief Acevedo, ¿podemos hacer unas palabras con su...
Sí, claro. Aquí estamos tan orgullosos de haber estado aquí 9 años y medio con estos gran líderes aquí en Austin, que hemos tomado un departamento y hemos ganado la confianza de nuestra comunidad, nuestros residentes, aunque sean hispanos, si son inmigrantes, nunca ha importado. Y para mí es un gran orgullo saber que los corazones de estos líderes, los que están aquí, yeah, you, Sarge, come on up here. Come on. No, come up here. Eve, she's getting ready to make lieutenant. She's my new general support lieutenant here. Come on up, administrative lieutenant. Come on up, Eve. She's hiding back there. This will be a lieutenant pretty soon. Para mí es un gran orgullo saber que tenemos tan gran personas que van a seguir. Y acuérdese que no tienen que tener temor. La confianza que hemos ganado de esta comunidad. Hay muchas personas que dicen que los inmigrantes, que todos son a partir de brateros y asesinos. Y esto es lo que tengo que decir. Aquí tenemos 38% de esta comunidad es inmigratoria, es latina, es de otra parte del país, del mundo, del sur de América, del Centroamérica, de México. Y si somos tan malos, ¿por qué es que esta ciudad que es tan grande, una ciudad muy grande, por qué somos una de las más seguras? Es porque nosotros en el Departamento Policíaco de Austin hemos ganado la confianza de todos los miembros de nuestra comunidad y por eso estamos tan seguros. Así que hasta la próxima vez, nos vemos pronto, visítenme en Houston y acuérdense que el único que tiene que tener temor a la policía en Austin o en Houston es el criminal. Si es testigo, si es víctima, adelante, que aquí estamos a sus órdenes.
¿Ha podido hablar con alguno de los siguientes que posiblemente pongan como jefe temporal?
No se preocupe, le garantizo que esta manejadora, Elaine Hart, que está aquí, cuando ella anuncia quién va a ser la persona, acuérdese que yo llevo aquí 9 años y medio, yo he hecho mis recomendaciones, yo tengo confianza y mucha esperanza con el liderazgo de Elaine Hart y del alcalde de la ciudad y vamos a tener una persona que va a ganarse la confianza. So I just said that, she said about, have you talked to anybody about the future, especially the immigrant community, because I've been talking about the fact that some folks might want to try to paint us in the ugly discussion of the immigration debate as rapists and murders or anything else. When the truth of the matter is that Austin, Texas is 38% Hispanic. A big chunk of that is an immigrant community. And if that were true, I don't understand how we're one of the safest cities in the United States. And I think part of that is that we have earned the trust, the respect, the cooperation of all segments of our community. And people here know, whether they're legal or illegal, that if they're the victim of a crime or they're a witness to a crime, they need not fear the Austin Police Department, that we are here to serve them. We're not here to serve them only if they can show their legal residency. We're not here to serve them if they can show they're a citizen. We're here to serve them if they're a human being in need and a human being that's a witness or a victim of a crime. And I think that speaks volumes. And I think the next chief that they pick, I trust Elaine Hart. She would never pick somebody that would not carry on that same value. Okay, guys, thank you very much. And now I'd like to invite up Elaine Hart, our city manager, to say a few words.
Good morning. I've got Art Acevedo here with me, Assistant City Manager Ray Ariano with me. As you all know, we had a press conference yesterday, immediately following the press conference in Houston that announced the appointment of Art Acevedo as police chief. At the time, I was asked many questions about when I would name an interim, and as you know, things are happening very fast. But I wanted to complete that process as soon as I could, so that the police officers and the support staff could have closure and know that who will be interim until a permanent police chief is selected. So it's my honor this morning to announce that Chief of Staff Brian Manley will be taking the helm effective December 1st as interim chief of police. And I have every faith in him. He comes with the recommendation of many people that I spoke to over the last few days. I have every confidence in his ability to carry on the values of the city of Austin and this police department. Ray and I are pleased to make this announcement, and certainly we'll be in touch with Brian as he takes over. There is a process, legal process. State statute requires the council to confirm my appointment. We are scheduling that on the December 1st agenda, which is the effective date of his placement. But Brian, so pleased. I spoke with him, and I was just really pleased that he was willing to take on this new responsibility. He's very capable. I've seen him over the last few years at council and working on budget issues and representing the chief when he was not able to be there. He's very capable. I have every confidence in him, and just congratulate you. Thanks again.
Brad, come on. Quick.
Thank you. Thank you. Be great. Do you want to say something?
I'll speak for a few moments.
All
Sure.
right.
Well, this comes as quite an honor. I think the chief said it earlier. This is a bittersweet moment for the department. I'm going to see a man who's been, I'm not going to look at you. I'm going to see a man who's been my mentor, but he's been my friend. And I've gotten to know him very well over the 9.5 years that he's been with us. I want to start off first, though, with a few thank yous. I want to thank City Manager Elaine Hart, along with Assistant City Manager Ariano, for having the confidence in me to take on this task. Leading the Austin Police Department is quite a challenge, as well as quite an honor. Following a chief like Chief Acevedo is a daunting task. Well, more on that in a minute, though. But Mayor and Council, I have had the opportunity to work with them over the years and build relationships with them, and I want to affirm to them that I will work as hard as Chief Acevedo has to continue the progress that this department is on. We have accomplished some really great things over the years. Policing right now in this country is in some challenging times, and I think we've done a lot in our community to build the relationships and to work with the individuals in the community to maintain that level of trust and continue this path and this journey together, police department and community. To the men and women of the Austin Police Department, I started here 26 years ago, probably as bright-eyed and as excited as each and every one of you were on your first day. I came to policing first in my family. This is not generational for me. I took a course in high school called Street Law, Johnston High School, and part of that class you did a ride out with an Austin police officer. And as a 17-year-old young man, I was out on patrol at night in East Austin, Northeast Austin, and I was sold. It took one ride along for me to know that this was my passion and this was what was in my heart to do for my career. I journeyed on to UT and got a business degree in finance so that I would have a different background. But I have been here for 26 years, and I have had opportunities along the way to move up the ranks, never expecting to have the honor to serve in this role and to lead this agency. It is quite humbling. I know several folks that I've worked with here that have gone on to be police chiefs in other agencies. We have police chiefs in Fort Collins, in Chattanooga. We have several in the UT college system. We have some down in Harlingen. But to actually be able to serve in this role for however long I serve in it, in the department I came to and grew up in, is an honor and is very humbling. And it is not lost on me. Chief, now to you for a few minutes. Again, when you came here, I was on your command staff, and I served in that capacity for you for a couple of years, and you moved me onto your executive team 5 years ago. I've had the privilege of serving with Chief Acevedo for 3 years as an assistant chief, and the last 2 as his chief of staff. And I have learned a tremendous amount. He is truly one of the most, if not the most progressive police leader that we have in our country right now. And to be able to not only just be in this arena with him, but to be at his right hand, I've learned a lot. To the community, I'm not going to be Art Acevedo. I can't be Art Acevedo. I don't think anybody can, even with medication. He is just a personality that is bigger than life itself. And I think with that, though, I want to also say, although I can't be him in personality, I am committed to being him in the passion for this job, in the support of the men and women who are on the front lines and who do the tough work day in and day out. I am committed to the city management staff here that has placed their faith in me to take on this role, to not fail and to give this 100% and to continue this department going in the direction that it's going. I've been paying attention. You set a very high bar, which we needed to. Austin deserves the quality of policing that this organization is committed to giving them. The men and women are still coming in droves to sign up. We are having a class starting November 28th with over 100 cadets. So even in the midst of some of the challenges our profession is facing, men and women want to come to the Austin Police Department. You have built an agency that is sought after, that is well respected, and you've led us in a good direction. To the community, I know there's probably a lot of concerns with Chief Acevedo leaving because we've done so many great things under his leadership. We have built bridges with our young activists, with our outspoken critics, and with community leaders across the board. Although Chief Acevedo is leaving, his vision, his direction, what we've accomplished maintains. Because the men and women that still comprise the executive and command teams of this department remain committed to that ideal and to the progressive policing that we've been practicing here. So I know the words are easy and I'm saying them now. Now we're going to prove it to you. You will continue to see the Austin Police Department serve in the manner it has served, to engage our critics, to bring in our young activists, and to get through the current climate as we have been. And to read some comments that I saw in the paper from one of our young activists that was actually in support of an internal candidate filling the position of police chief, I think that says a lot on a lot of the grounds that we've made with our community, and that's important. You know what? I think with that, maybe I'll just open it up for questions. Again, I can't thank the chief enough. I know the chief's word and his support that he gave to City Manager Hart and Assistant City Manager Ariano weighed heavily in their decision to give me this opportunity. I know that other folks spoke as well, but again, to have your support, knowing what you demand of your team, means the world to me. And I hope you don't change your phone numbers, and if you do, I'll get it, because I will be calling you. With that, I've opened it up for questions.
Chief Manley, Chief Art Acevedo mentioned a lot of the feelings that are happening with APA right now and the morale. What do you say, as new interim chief, to that group, as well as, what you're going to do to not only keep the community happy, but also your officers?
Sure. I think what you're going to see is I'm going to get out there, I'm going to make the show-ups, and I'm going to talk one-on-one with the men and women so that I can better understand. I can read a survey and I can understand comments that were written. That doesn't tell me a lot. I want to talk to a person. I want to have a conversation, not just results of a survey that somebody filled out. So I am committed to getting out there and to understanding not the survey, but what lies behind the survey, the sentiments behind the survey, because I know the collective hearts of the men and women that make up the executive and command staff, and I know what we want, I know what we're driving towards, and it's not to alienate ourselves from this workforce. The men and women to a person have the utmost respect and support for the officers that are out there on the front line. That is a tough job. So I'm just going to dig in, try and understand it better, and then collectively work towards building the relationship.
Chief, one thing that not just Cassidy had mentioned yesterday, but all of us have noticed is the transparency that this department has shown over the last decade that it did not have in the previous administration, or I'm guessing, this is long before my time, probably the most of your career here. How important is keeping that transparency and being getting in front of incidents, good or bad?
I'm glad you asked that question, because that was, for me to leave that out was not good, because when I say we're going to maintain the trajectory we're on, transparency is a cornerstone of what we're doing here in Austin, and that is absolutely going to continue. Our mission, our direction, we will continue to put out as much information as we can, as early as we can. I think we've modeled that here lately. We were one of the first large agencies to jump in the police data initiative that the White House sponsored under the Obama administration's 21st Century Policing. We put all of our data out there. We volunteered to be the first agency to undergo the CPE exam of all of our data. We had the Center for Policing Equity come in, look at our data, analyze it to identify whether there are any disparities. That's being pretty transparent, because we told them from day one, you can name us as the Austin Police Department regardless of what the results said. We didn't want to see what the results said and then determine if we were okay being named, because we believe in transparency. Good or bad, whatever it pointed out, that's who we are, and it points our direction forward if there are things that we need to correct. We're working on taking CPE to the next level with another round of community surveying done by Urban Institute and other professionals. So we remain committed to transparency, and you will continue to see us giving out as much information as early on as we can, because at the end of the day, although we may be the collectors of the information and the collectors of the data, as we've said in the Police Data Initiative, it's the public's data.
I talked to folks yesterday from the Austin Justice Coalition who said they were really disappointed to see the chief leave, and that they felt like for the first time they had been, as activists, they had been welcomed to the table. Is that something that you will continue?
Absolutely. And as I mentioned earlier, to see the comment in the paper that I saw from Chaz Moore, who was one of the leaders of Austin Justice Coalition as well, where we started with Mr. Moore several years ago after a critical incident that occurred here in Austin, and the chief and I were at that and were speaking, and the direction that conversation took with Chaz versus where we are at today with Chaz and Austin Justice Coalition and Measure Austin, along with several other groups, I think says a lot. And I actually had an opportunity yesterday. I was speaking at a briefing that the White House brought to Austin on the Police Data Initiative, and Chaz was there along with Mimi Stiles and Fatima Mann and several others. And I pulled them aside to let them know that I absolutely understand the concerns with Chief Acevedo leaving, because he has been that person. He has been the driving force behind it. But as an agency, we've all bought into it. So that doesn't change with the chief leaving. We are going to continue partnering with our young activists, partnering with our other community groups that we work with towards partnership.
We've continued to hear a lot of scrutiny again about the DNA labbing under Austin Police's direction. What can you say to people who are, fearful of what could happen, as well as sexual assault survivors and the continued backlog that there is?
Sure. So that obviously it's a focus now, and that's going to remain a focus. We have got to bring our DNA lab up to speed, and that way we can continue the processing of evidence on time. We're putting together a team right now that is actually analyzing the structure of our DNA lab, the work we're doing to get our DNA lab back on track, along with other models. There are some models of DNA labs that don't fall within a police department's purview, but those labs have had problems too. Those labs have had failures. So it's not necessarily about the governance structure over a DNA lab. It's all about having the right people, the right procedures, the right processes, the right oversight. And so that's what I'm focused on, is making sure we get a thorough review, and that when we open our lab, it will not open without an outside independent audit saying that we were absolutely in compliance and we are ready to open again. So this issue will remain, I am sure, on the forefront. I'm sure we'll be talking about this over the next many months, but we are committed to a resolution on getting this taken care of.
Last question. Anything you would like to say to the Hispanic community? A lot of them, that understood them, that were working with the Mexican consul. I mean, what would you like us to say to them?
Sure.
Is this gonna be something also of your priority?
Absolutely. And again, the chief has forged these relationships, but he's emblazoned them in all of the leaders of this department as well. So although I cannot speak fluent Spanish like the chief can, I can stumble through it with my son at the level that he's at in high school. What we feel in our hearts for our immigrant community doesn't change. We have policies in place. I know there's concern over there with the political winds being where they are and all the discussions on immigration. We will be the same department tomorrow that we were yesterday. We are going to work to maintain the same level of trust day by day. So although I will understand their concerns with Chief Acevedo leaving, I will commit to the immigrant community, the Hispanic community in this city, that we are here for them as we have always been, because that's our community. Again, I understand, but I expect that they will see no change. Thank you.
Thanks, everybody. You had to go there. I was doing pretty good until you did that.
You looked at me like, I stole the paper. Oh, I just accepted it.